about Trey just a couple seconds ago. How did you see him approach his off year? How has that carried over into his first few games?
Well, you know, when he transferred here, he was it was hard on him because he couldn't play and all that stuff. He's been a guy that's played all of his life. I mean, a kid that played in the Little League World Series, and you know, just everything that kid's done. To have an off year to sit out was hard on him, but he went over every day and made the defense better, helped on the scout team, really studied our playbook so that when he was eligible in the spring, he wasn't behind. He knew just pretty much every position at receiver that he could possibly learn. He learned it, and it's been really good having him now because we can plug and place him in different positions. Number 2 receiver to the field, number 1 receiver to the boundary, number 1 receiver to the field, number 3 receiver to the field. So there's just a bunch of different places we can put him, and his understanding of the offense and his knowledge that he really spent a lot of time on has really helped him this year, I think.
And so Ben was pushing a little in the fourth quarter, maybe trying to do a little too much. But how do you evaluate the first 3 quarters of his game?
Yeah, you know, I don't think it was just the fourth quarter. I think you know, Ben played a little bit out of his self. He was trying to do too much. You know, he was on the officials every play. You know, that was something that we talked about on Sunday night, is just the fact that he's got to control what you can control. You know, don't worry about the refs, don't worry about the fans, don't worry about, you know, whatever. Control what you can control, and I think that Ben let the big game kind of get to him a little bit. He's a competitor. He wants to win. I mean, you want to make Ben Hicks mad at you, take a 2-minute drill away from him on Wednesday, and he gets extremely mad because he's a competitor. He wants to compete. He wants to win, and he knew what this game would do for our program. He knew what this game would do in terms of our season. You know, kind of beating a top 20 team on the road at their place in a rivalry game would be huge. And I think you know, he let that get to him a little bit too much. But again, we talked about it. He knows, and he'll move on and be fine. But just continuing to work with him. Same things we talked about last year. I thought he kind of reverted back to last year a little bit in the game, but like I said, he'll be fine. He'll bounce back, and he'll learn from this.
We've had 3 different leading rushers each game this week, or each game this season. Is that what you want to see, someone else stepping up, or would you prefer, you know, one guy be the man?
No, we actually have talked about this with Coach Traylor. I like what we got going on from a running back standpoint. Ask Braden West. It's a long season, and if you only got one guy, you know, it's hard to be 100% all year long. And you're not going to be 100%, but you know what I mean. It's hard to be fresh all year long, and being able to rotate 3 guys right now and having no drop off whatsoever with any guy you got in there. It's not like Coach Traylor's like, hey, we got Kamen in there, we can't do this, or we got Xavier in there, we can't do this. It's the playbook's wide open with any guy you put in there, which is great because I think that those guys are going to understand. It's an ongoing battle right now in that room because they all want more touches, they all want the ball, but that's a good thing, and that's what you want. But understanding that it's a long season and that we got, you know, a lot more ball to be played, and trying to keep those guys as fresh as possible throughout the whole year is going to be very beneficial when it comes time to try to win a conference championship in November.
Chad talked about trying to figure out the right side of the line. How did you evaluate the difference with Will in there starting over Bolt, and what are other options to try to shore that up?
Yeah, well, we're going to try a couple different things this week. You know, Bryce didn't play as well as we would like to, and him to have played, and we got to look at a couple different things. We thought Will did some good things in there. I think we're going to be able to get some things out of him for sure at that right guard position, and just trying maybe to Dora at right tackle and KD Smith at right tackle. Just trying to find that right mix is crucial for us. But we definitely got to shore up that right side for sure. But I have confidence in all those guys. You know, we played a great defense. First of all, TCU is they're going to be, I think you're going to look up at the end of the season, they're going to be top 15, maybe a top 10 team when it's all said and done. So, you know, they were a good team, and we played well. Obviously disappointed that we lost. Obviously disappointed, I think, that we blew several opportunities to score. And but you know, you got to look at that and say, you know, those guys they played okay versus a really good defense, and probably one of the best defenses we'll face all year. And so, you know, it's hard to bench a guy, but again, we're going to look at different options and do a couple of different things this week and see if we can't shore it up a little bit better.
What do you see from Arkansas State?
And they're athletic, they're fast, they're well coached. Coach Anderson is a great friend of mine. I owe him a lot. He recruited me at Middle Tennessee and gave me a shot to play quarterback, and very, very well respected in this profession. And you know, he's very. I respect him and his staff. I mean, they do a phenomenal job on both sides of the ball and special teams. So they're going to be well coached. They're going to be ready for us. You know, they obviously had a game canceled against Miami, and then followed up with Arkansas Pine Bluff. So I'm sure there's going to be some things that they haven't shown yet that we're going to have to be ready for again, which is kind of the third time this year we're going to be have to do something like that during the game. But I'm sure they're going to have something defensively that, you know, they've showed a little bit last year, they haven't showed this year, that they're going to do. And so, again, kind of approaching it as a first game of the year type thing for us is, you know, there's going to be some things they do. We got to stay patient. We got to make some good adjustments from the box and on the sideline, and see what we can do to get it right. But they're gonna do some different things that we got to be ready for sure.
Alex Honey was a guy that talked a lot about having a really good summer and fall and spring. He's been relatively inactive so far this season. Is that just more about the depth of the receiving group, or do you think he'll get worked in more as the season goes on?
Yeah, you know, in the TCU game, it was a game that, you know, we had to have Portland out there. If anything, you know, to draw a double team, which they did the whole game. You know, and so we would have liked to have played Alex a little bit more, but we just gotta. You know, we got to have more trust in Alex to go in there and not have much drop off from Portland, that's hard to do when you got a potential first round pick out there. You know, you're going to have some drop off there for sure. But we teach our guys, man, we just want their best, and give us your best, and your best will be good enough. And we just got to have some more trust to throw Alex out there, and I think Alex will be fine once we get through these next couple games, and, you know, get some more playing time for sure, and be able to make some plays and help spell Portland.
And Braden missed UNT, came back against TCU. Did he look like he was at full strength to you?
Yeah.
Or do you think he had a little left to come back from?
I think he looked full strength. I think he averaged you know, over 4 yards a carry, maybe 5 yards a carry. He did a really nice job. He played to me like a guy that was mad that he didn't get to play the week before, because he could have played, and we made that decision to hold him, to try to get him back healthy without throwing him out there, without being 100%. I didn't think that would be fair to him, but he was upset about that. He's a competitor as well, and he hates losing, and so he ran like a man that was you know, ticked off that he didn't get to play the week before, and he did a great job. He made several people miss. That's one thing our running backs are really focused on this year, is making people miss in space, and I think Braden, I don't want to quote this because I might be wrong, but he was either the top running back that made more people miss, or he was second. They were right there neck and neck. So he did a really good job. Again, looking forward to getting him some more touches as well as we go along, but just keeping those guys as fresh as we can for the whole season would be great.